morning and welcome to Living Local 15. I'm your host, Jessica Williams. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's time to grab a cup of joe and enjoy the show. First up, I'm taking you inside of a fabulous home for a home tour as we continue our Inside of Real Estate series with Mike Thomas Associates. Realtor George Raptis will be breaking down the new trends as we visit a new homing development. The home is so beautiful, you don't want to miss it. Then it's Mental Health Matters with Viking Psychiatry, and I am joined by Dr. Laura of Mosaik Journeys. She is here to speak about her business that really focuses on eating disorders and trauma psychotherapy. Are you ready? Let's get started.
Fashion, food, and fun. You're watching Living Local 15 with your host, Jessica Williams.
This segment sponsored by Mike Thomas Associates. Do you know what's exciting? Shopping for your dream home. And today I'm going to take a tour of this beautiful new home and also learn what's trending in home development from the Raptis team. And you're invited. I am now joined by George Raptis, who is a realtor. Hello, George.
Hi, Jessica.
Nice to see you again.
Good to see you.
Okay, so we're in a new home. This is the Preston Allen Homes, and I just absolutely think this home is stunning.
For sure.
When you walk in, the first thing I see are the high ceilings, the beautiful arches, and also just the open windows as we're looking at snow.
Oh yes, yep, bringing it outside in.
Yes, so today we're going to talk about trends that are happening now. I know that there's such a fusion between old and new and keeping things modern, but also keeping things that are rich and valuable in ancient buildings. And so what would you say is the top trend that you are seeing right now in homes?
Colors. So the colors are changing, absolutely.
Yeah. Like here. So, for example, we have this statement wall, which is really great. Why are people just kind of adding these flares? There's a term for it when they add a wall like this.
Accent wall.
Accent wall. What are you seeing when it comes to color choices and accent walls?
Starting to see some bold colors come back. Some of the earth tones are coming back. Starting to walk away just a little bit from the painted cabinets and going more of that wood feel.
Yeah, and so this home here that we're standing in is a 5-bedroom, 5-bath. Really incredible with really unique features. So as we look upstairs, for example, and kind of walking through the multiple bedrooms and the family layout space, what would you bring attention to?
Definitely, we have the fact that we have separation for each bedroom and bathrooms. Everybody kind of wants a unique space, and we also have a shared common area. So we're starting to see the trends pull away from a lower level or a basement and adding and incorporating some space upstairs.
Okay, which is nice for the family, and that bathroom with the Jack and Jill doors, and you say that that's a traditional way of displaying a bathroom, right?
Yes, yep, absolutely. We want to keep separate sinks, but the common seat and shower area could be shared, yeah.
Yes, and so this new development that we are in is called what?
Cascada.
And I know that you have been a realtor for a very long time, and you work with so many top developers here in Fort Wayne for 21 years?
Yeah.
And so as you are seeing these new homes pop up, what are you seeing externally with trends?
So of course, each subdivision should offer its unique feel, and that's really important when trying to decide where to live. And proximity to schools, proximity to where we worship, to work, to the highway, all and other families. So the number one trend in 2024 was people were moving to be closer to family.
Right, yes, yeah, absolutely. And so let's talk about the external vibe and look. One thing I find very interesting with this home is just the fact that you have that little arch entryway to get to a separation between the garage and the home.
Yeah, a little pull through there, a little breezeway. Yeah, absolutely. And we would see that in some older style homes, and that was incorporated and brought in here for sure.
Yeah.
Unique.
I love it. Okay, well, let's walk around a bit and take a peek at what else you have to offer here.
Let's see it.
All right, George. So as we look back at this room, we see here the pop-up wall that you talked about, but also just a modern chandelier. And what else really stands out to you in this room?
Yeah, we have that wood floor is that's going incorporated all through hard surface of the main area. You'll notice just a little unique things like the baseboard is no longer white like the rest of the house. It's going to be all incorporated and staying in the same color.
Yeah, that's really nice. And then just the openness. I love just walking from that nook area into this beautiful living room. So many windows, and then an open kitchen,
Yes.
which is nice as well. And so I'm seeing here the texture of the cabinet. So it looks a little different than the typical cabinet color.
Yeah, we've been accustomed to using those white or those gray colors, and we're starting to see some of that natural wood grain come back. And wanted to be able to offset it with, again, still solid surface, some uniqueness in the design. It's no longer just squared off or
Right.
that boring rectangle. They're bringing in some new trends to do things like that.
And then as we walk over here, something that you pointed out which was interesting was that there's a hidden plug. So just ways that they're getting a little bit more trendy and modern. And then of course the hidden appliances, which makes it so cool, like this being a dishwasher here. And then right here, what is this? Is it a big cabinet or is it the refrigerator?
Yes.
Love that so much. Wow.
It is neat. They have, they've really incorporated the, still stainless steel stove. This is still a big piece of the kitchen. This is where, we tend to gather because this is where all the food's going on.
Yeah.
But if you notice that, we have some cabinets here, but it doesn't seem like it would be enough.
Right.
So
Yeah.
the new trend, we're going to do a prep kitchen.
Okay.
We're going to keep this area clean, but we're going to go prep our food here.
Okay, I love a secret room.
Yes,
Okay, very nice.
Yeah.
This is a lot of space.
it is. So we have the
Wow.
pull-out pantry behind you, cabinet space, upper cabinets,
Oh.
nice deep sink. And again, we do need that second.
Wow, okay, yeah. Another dishwasher
Yes.
hidden.
Yep.
But I love it because you wouldn't know what it was, and it's just enough space to really provide and entertain
Yes.
with your family.
Yep.
So as we keep looking, I have to tell you, George, like this is my type of house. I just love the openness. And then also the sliding doors are here, right?
Yes, we want to keep it away from the entertaining area. Instead of people entering and exiting all the time, this would be a nice little entrance out here, covered porch, huge demand. We've seen a really big increase here. Stamped concrete, the fire pit overlooking the natural area, a few ponds, some woods here.
Yeah, that is so great. And then, master bedroom. Again, high ceilings, but also very unique in the way that they have used the wood frames to kind of add something interesting to look at with the chandelier.
Yes, yep. We have the natural light again, huge elevated, bigger, taller doors, windows, bringing that natural sunlight in.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
which makes it nice. And then that theme of the arch, which is interesting. So as we walk over here, it's like this parallel between squared and then the arch. So if we look up here, for example, that arch is on display juxtaposed with that square, and that is represented throughout the entire home.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some uniqueness. Obviously we have that natural light coming in.
Yeah.
We put the mirrors in front of there,
Yeah.
but you had
So
mentioned,
cool.
yeah,
You can get the best lighting as
Absolutely.
you get ready in the morning.
shades can go down with remote, so those kind of block off the view and give you the privacy you need. And
Love
absolutely.
that.
Also incorporated some really neat floor.
That is beautiful.
3 different textures that are going to go in here. We have the main area here, again against that shower wall.
Wow.
And we have the tub and shower combined with that
Yes.
accent wall back behind us.
And I love the just the accent of that. Bronze? Would that be the bronze color?
Yeah,
Kind
yeah.
of muted bronze.
Yep, I'm going with not your grandma's gold.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Right. Love that. And then of course, just a master closet, which is like you need a ladder, like your Beauty and the Beast.
Yes, yes.
Rolling through the library. Like I love that, and that would be a really cool concept just to add. I don't know, just a vibe, because like we talked about, the ceilings are so high, it elevates the home.
Absolutely. We no longer look at square footage, we look at the volume in the house.
Yeah.
And the air that this all brings in. So higher ceilings, absolutely. We incorporated that window to bring in that natural light again. Want to make sure the clothes match correctly. And then washer and dryer.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to do a stackable washer and dryer. Nobody wants to run around, especially when it can be all incorporated in the master area.
Yeah. Well, this is very exciting, and I know that you are involved in so many homes, selling them, like this one, and then newer properties that are coming to the Preston Allen Homes, and so much more. So if someone's interested in reaching out to you to learn more about the homes that you have available, how should they go about doing so?
Yeah, my cell phone's always the best way, 260-710-1834, and then also my email, george@mikethomasrealtor.com.
All right, awesome. Thank you, George,
Thank
for the
you.
tour.
Thank you.
And if you would like more information, we'll be sure to put the contact information of George Raptis below. Give him a call, check out this home, and I'll see you after the break. This segment sponsored by Mike Thomas Associates.
Follow us on social media at Living Local 15.
This segment sponsored by Viking Psychiatry. Welcome back to Mental Health Matters with Viking Psychiatry. Today I am joined by Sean Goddard, who is the Viking owner and also a special guest as we continue to expound upon this conversation of mental health. I'm so pleased to have Dr. Laura Oyer with us today. Hello, doctor.
Hello
Hello,
there.
Sean.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's start off by just kind of learning a little bit about you. Tell me about your practice and how long you've had it here in Fort Wayne.
Yeah, so I'm Dr. Laura Oyer. I am a psychologist, and I've had the practice. I opened it in June 2024, so it's a relatively new practice, and I've specialized in eating disorders and trauma.
Oh, wow. Okay, and so you help a range of folks, I'm assuming, from all ages probably suffer from those types of conditions. And so what made you be inspired to want to open up a facility like this?
So when I was in grad school, I had the opportunity to do a residential treatment internship where I got introduced to eating disorders, and it really inspired me because these individuals, you know, they would come in and they would have such struggles, right, in their relationship with food and body. And to get to see them in a matter of months just kind of transform into these amazing, bright, colorful, intuitive individuals was just inspiring to me. And so that really set me off on kind of a career trajectory to learn more about this disorder and how to help these individuals. And along the way, I really discovered that underneath a lot of the eating concerns are traumas or various traumatic events or overwhelming events for people. And so that also got me very interested in exploring different kinds of treatments for that population.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I can't wait to dive in deeper. But Sean, I'm gonna go to you for a second because I know this was important for you to open up this conversation and to really bring attention to other mental health providers in this community. So why is that?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, Dr. Oyer and I share a few clients, and through the time that I've been in Fort Wayne and sharing clients with her, I see what an amazing provider she is to her clients. And you know, a lot of practices, when they look at advertising, it's all about growing their business. And I've said from the very beginning that our goal of Viking Psychiatry is help to reduce the stigma, break down barriers, and provide access. And so when I see an amazing provider like Dr. Oyer who's available, I want to make sure that people are connected and aware, because it's not just about what we at Viking Psychiatry can do for people, but what we as a community are able to do to make change in people's lives. And so I was excited to be able to extend the invitation to her and have her here with us today.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. And this is a different topic that we're diving into because we haven't spoken about eating disorders and really what your specialty is. So I'm curious about your journey. Like, what inspired you to really pursue this career path, and kind of talk to me about your early process in education to get to this point.
So my undergraduate degree is actually in elementary education, so I thought I wanted to work with little ones.
Yeah.
And when I was doing my student teaching, right, you know, last year of college, there was this little guy that I was working with, and for me I kind of really didn't understand some of the struggles that were happening at home. But as I got to know him, I realized that, you know, as much as I think teachers are amazing and we absolutely need them, I clearly love education, It just felt for me personally that that was getting in the way of really what I wanted to do, which was kind of really getting to know these like people as individuals and the struggles that's going on, behind the scenes. And so that kicked me off over to exploring counseling. And so then I decided that when I got my master's degree, I didn't feel like it was quite enough. I didn't feel like I was prepared or ready to really go out and help people. So I pursued my PhD in counseling psychology, and that was just wonderful. I got so many great connections. I did it at the University of Northern Colorado, and so got to explore the country and live in a whole different part of the world, which was lovely. And just kept exploring and studying eating disorders as a specialty, and then also some different other areas that are connected to psychology. But I just kept pursuing that and really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and so what have you learned through your experience about some of the challenges that people really do face? And sometimes they're not actualized, right? Sometimes they have issues and they need that help of discovering them. And what are the best treatment methods that you have experienced?
I really do integrate a lot of different things, just kind of like if someone's building a house, they use lots of tools, right? There's not just one particular tool. And for me, I think having a really large tool bag is important because every person is unique. And I think about, whether they're coming in with depression or trauma or eating disorders or anxiety, it's like a puzzle, right? There's a lot of different pieces to it. And so each piece may need a unique tool. And so the predominant ones, but again, not maybe for everyone, I use a lot with attachment and interpersonal theory and therapy. So looking at those early life experiences with caregivers and how that impacts how somebody sees themselves, how it impacts how they see others, how it impacts how they view the world around them. Is it safe? Is it not? And so really looking at that, looking at relationships and, how easy or hard are relationships for individuals, because that relationships obviously impact our mental health so much.
Right.
I also use a lot with trauma, so EMDR and CPT, cognitive processing therapy, are two I utilize a lot. And then also IFS, or internal family systems. And so that's probably one that I use a lot, where really looking at the parts of ourselves and that we all have this really good core inside of us, and that we have a core self that is good.
Yeah.
And there's these different parts that have, developed over the years that try to keep us safe, but sometimes the way they do that kind of causes more problems. And so kind of working to help people, we call more self-leadership, kind of get people more connected to the good core within them that's compassionate and kind, and really helping them change the relationship with themselves with these parts, and that often ripples out to changing relationships externally.
I love that, because people have to be open. Sometimes they set up defense mechanisms or sometimes try to protect themselves from that growth, and you cannot do that because you're hindering yourself from that process, right? And so do you have some type of success story or some type of breakthrough moment in your career working with someone that really did make you want to continue what you're doing even more?
I feel like working with complex trauma and eating disorders, success to me is measured very in little tiny increments. And so I think about, yes, I do have, clients I've worked with where they've gone on to even become therapists and even working and making meaning out of, their struggles, which has been amazing to watch. But to me, I think about it, what gets me up and makes me excited is when I get to work with a client and we come to session and they say, I reached out for support this weekend. I was struggling, and instead of grabbing maybe my old coping tools that, don't really serve me well anymore, I was able to reach out to a friend or a family member and say, hey, I need some help today. And to me, we celebrate that. I do a little victory dance sometimes. Or if they're able to, maybe try something going out and being in public, meeting new people, if that's really hard for them. So to me, I think about success just in these little tiny small increments, because a lot of these individuals I'm working with for years sometimes. And so we have to measure success small, because we can look back and then look and say, wow, there's been so much growth. So I don't know if there's like one story that really stands out, but just each day looking for those glimmers of change that I think really can over time create such significant change in someone's life.
Which we all should practice small wins. And Dr. Laura, I need to see that victory dance. What did it look like? Yes. And so, Sean, how do your two practices really work best together in cohesive providing the Fort Wayne community?
You know, one of the things that I really push for at Viking is collaboration, and there's not a lot of that going on in this world today. You have all these different providers that are involved, whether it's in primary care, specialties, etc. But especially when it comes to mental health, there can be so many people that are part of that team, and often those sides aren't talking, right? They're not communicating.
Right.
One of the things that we're able to do well is communicate together in regards to the clients when that's needed. And I think that's very important, because getting everybody on board, right? Everybody on board with a plan or an idea, right? And I'm not perfect, right? And I'm constantly learning. And so for me to be able to reach out to Dr. Oyer and say, we have this mutual client and this is a concern that I have. What are your thoughts? How could I approach this, right? And feel welcome to be able to do that and to communicate as a team is very important, especially in an environment that sometimes can not only be judging for the client themselves, but also the providers that are involved in care. So.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you both so much for coming in and chatting with me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And if you would like more information about Viking Psychiatry or Mosaik Journeys, we'll have their websites listed below, and I'll see you after the break. This segment sponsored by Viking Psychiatry.
Living Local 15, proudly driven by the Kelly Automotive Group.
Well, that's our show for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. And remember, you can always catch up on episodes and segments of Living Local 15 by going to WANE.com, downloading that WANE app, and also checking us out on YouTube. And I'll leave you with this. It's never too late to live your best life, so start living it today. And I look forward to seeing you here tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Content segments during today's Living Local 15 were paid for by these sponsors.